Baby Driver, and I'm not sure how to tackle this review per se, because I'm not sure how much I can say that's my own thing, because everything that's already been said about this movie has already been said. Everything is fantastic. From the direction to the actors, choreograph, the stunts, legitimately everything about this film is crisp. Perfect. This is probably the most Edgar Wright film that he's ever made. And I'm sure that's a title of an article that exists somewhere, but that's also 100% true. There's always these little mannerisms that a director has, and Edgar Wright has those like famous montages that he uses in the Cornetto trilogy. But this one, I think this film brings to light a different Edgar Wright than the Cornetto trilogy and Scott Pilgrim. Rather than being like an effects spectacle, it prides itself on being a visual and audio spectacle, abusing every aspect of the medium of sound and picture, bringing it together in unison into the film that is now Baby Driver. And I would go as far as to say that if it weren't for Hot Fuzz being my favorite out of all 5 of his films, or 4 of his films prior to Baby Driver, Baby Driver is probably my new favorite film of his. Strictly based on a technical aspect, because everything is impressive. Just the amount of layers that go into a movie this intricate, from keeping everyone in time to the music to sound effects being on point. Not to mention the actors themselves, who have to choreograph every movement in sync to the music. It's nuts. You cannot fathom how much work goes into doing that level of planning. Not even planning at that point, it's performance. This is hardly a film, it's a performance art piece. It's crazy how much he's able to get away with. And all while giving that trademark style. Like, you'd expect Easter eggs, he puts in Easter eggs. You expect comedy and expect a light-hearted tone, you get that. You expect some bad shit happening in the 3rd act, you get that too. Everything. The only thing I can remotely say negative about it is, frankly, I think the baby's relationship with what was her name? It's been a while since I saw the film, like at least a week. So I let this sink in with me. What was it? Deborah, that's it. Took me a while there. I think that Baby's relationship with Deborah sped up a little too fast. And I think that was kind of the point. But at the same time, like, he brings her into kind of these situations where it's a life-altering situation. Like, it's life or death, and you could be potentially a fucking criminal from that point on. But at the same time, she just rolls with it. I'm sure it's convenient for the plot, but I mean, at the same time, like, she has a say in this too. I mean, it was her choice. But honestly, it's also one of those things where it makes little to no sense, where she would just go on after being held at gunpoint at one point in the film to just suddenly side with Baby and you want like, yeah, fuck this, I'm out, we're going somewhere else. That's probably the only negative thing I can say about the film. There's really nothing more I can say about it than it's negative. no, maybe actually one thing. I think around the second half, if I really kind of push it, it kind of meanders a little bit. There's the first act of the film is like there's two heist chases, and those chases are extremely entertaining, but at the same time, once those two chases are over, it doesn't pick up until the final act, and mostly around the second act, it's mostly just characters planning that heist for the third act, and I'm totally fine with it, but excuse me, I'm totally fine with that, but there are certain things that an audience member can expect, and granted how high those two chases go out on, I don't blame anyone who thinks that the second half of the second act of the film is slower than the first and the third. I can't words right now. Holy crap! It's really really late. It's like 4:00 in the fucking morning. I'm recording this. Holy crap! But like at the same time, I'm doing this for Rena Day. The things I do for Rena Day, I did a Higurashi top 10 in 24 hours. I will make 7 videos, post them all today. Because you know what? Fuck it. There's so many things that I could be doing right now. And I'm thinking, how do I want to spend my Rena Day? And now it just dawned on me. Even though I just saw Spider-Man, and I will get my thoughts on that in just a moment, I feel like I need to see Baby Driver again. As batshit crazy as that sounds, I don't care if I'm going to have to see this movie alone again. I will see it again. I saw it twice on the opening Wednesday it came out on. Once at the 7 o'clock showing, and one right afterwards. And that decision was flip of a dime. Which is like, I want to see this movie again. So, you know what? Sure, why not? It's one of the better movies to come out this summer. It's not necessarily a blockbuster, but at the same time, it's its own thing. It will do well in the box office. Hopefully, I really hope this movie doesn't flop for many reasons. One, because I love the film. Two, because it rewarded big studios to take a risk on a very original concept. Not only that, it just brings out, this brings out new blood for aspiring directors and creatives to bring out new ideas to the big screen that not necessarily have been recycled or are existing IPs, which frankly I'm excited for. This movie excites me on a technical level, on an industry level. Frankly, this could be the mark. This could be the summer where we can actually see from this point onwards we might be getting more original content that's actually somewhat quality from film studios. With that, I will say support Baby Driver. Every time you see this movie, there's something new to appreciate about it. Frankly, I need to see it again because I just love the third act so much. But before I go, there's a lasting parting thought I have. And those who've seen the movie can converse with me about this in the comment section below. But does Doc hire drug addicts? Are all of his contacts drug addicts? Because he refers to people that he has in his heist plans having a quote-unquote nasal problem. Apparently everybody in his crew is a drug addict. It's nuts. Which is miraculous on numerous levels. Which either brings up the question, how hasn't any heist gone bad? And two, does that actually mean Baby's that great? Because that good of a getaway driver, so that dog can afford to cut the cost and afford to have such unpredictable and irrational decision making from drug addicts to be in his crew? I'll have to ask Edgar Wright that on Twitter. And if he does respond, I'll definitely make a post about that on my Facebook or on my Twitter. But that's something I actually need answered, because that is actually kind of funny. I was talking to a friend of mine at work about that, and he's like, you know what? I'm surprised that nothing as bad has happened. Considering what goes down in the third act, it's a miracle how, if everyone is a drug addict, all Doc's contacts are a drug addict, including his crew, it's miraculous that nothing has gone tits up before. So, with that, I have to say, see this movie multiple times if you have to. There's always something you're going to appreciate in this movie. For the layman, I suggest you watch it anyway. It's unlike any action movie that you've ever seen. The first music-driven action film that is technically not a musical. So, yeah, there's that. See this movie. 10 out of 10. Edgar Wright, you have done it again. And I await your next masterpiece. Gorehound out.